Elephants. Who doesn't like elephants? So let's stop and watch for a while. And by the way, welcome to the oldest conservation park in Africa and one of the most popular tourist destinations in South Africa, Kruger National Park. It is bigger than you think. The game reserve is quite massive. It covers an area of almost 20,000 square kilometers, which is like 7,500 square miles. And this makes it a little smaller than the country of Belgium and approximately the size of Israel. So you can imagine that most of the visitors stay there for several days, and so will I. Some people spend their entire vacation here. The park connects to another national park in Zimbabwe and another one in Mozambique, now forming part of the Great Limpopo Transfrontier Park. So animals cross borders from country to country freely, as opposed to people. There are border crossings in the park, and of course you need visa. More than 1 million tourists visit the Kruger National Park every year. That works out to 83,000 plus visitors each month and about 2,800 each day, which, if you think about it, isn't so bad. If you imagine that you would have only 2,800 international visitors per day in Belgium, for example, you would think that the tourism there is non-existent. But this is different, of course. And sometimes it seems that magically safari trucks and vehicles congregate in one place where the passengers can view the animals, but there is no magic to it. The safari guides let each other know where there is something to see. A happy visitor means more tips to the safari guides. Nothing wrong with that. But many people prefer self-drive safaris, including myself. Why? There is more flexibility to it since you decide when and where to go and how long you want to stay in any particular place. But of course, agency safaris provide knowledgeable guides, and if you cannot drive or don't want to drive or have no knowledge or want to know more about the animals, well, every coin has two sides, as they say. There are numerous safari lodges and camps on the reserve itself that provide various types of accommodation for tourists going on safaris in the park, and even more lodges outside of the park, which are cheaper. And I'm staying outside the park. The Kruger National Park has 10 entrance gates and it's open from sunrise to sunset. If you don't make it out of the park, unless you are staying inside, by the closing time you pay a stiff fine, so be aware. Paul Kruger, who was the president of the South African Republic from 1883 to 1900, opened the park, which is named after him, in 1898 to minimize hunting and preserve wildlife. When the park opened, the entrance fee was £1 British. Today it is 454 rand for international visitors, which is about $24 per day. Locals pay only about one-third of the price. This elephant clearly wants to cross the road, so let's give him space. What else can I do, right? And in the meantime, I will tell you some interesting facts about elephants. They can spend up to 18 hours a day eating and grazing. Their trunks can suck and store about 2 gallons of water. And what's really fascinating, at least to me, is that elephants can pick up sound vibrations from 50 miles away. That's 80 kilometers. Their skin is about 1 inch thick, but it's also quite sensitive. Sometimes, actually many times, you can see elephants putting mud on their backs, and that is to protect them from the sun and also protect them from various insects. Adult African elephants can eat more than 300 pounds of food daily, and they can be pretty heavy, over 6 tons. And another quite fascinating fact is that they can recognize themselves in the mirror. How do I know? Well, scientists say so, but I don't know how they come up with it. Probably did some testing, trying to put elephant in front of the mirror and see their reactions, I guess. At birth, they can weigh quite a lot, more than 250 pounds. And interestingly enough, they are born blind. And you probably know a saying that goes like this: you have a memory like an elephant. And yep, they do have very, very good memory. Elephant tusks are one of the most unique body parts of these animals. But did you know they are actually large incisors, teeth that start growing when the elephant is 2 years old, and they grow throughout their lifetime. They are insanely powerful and can even rip up trees. Maybe you have noticed that the rhinos here really don't have horns, and this is for their own protection because the situation with the rhinos is really desperate. Despite back-breaking work from a dedicated and passionate team in Kruger Park and all the national parks in South Africa, rhino populations have continued to plummet due to rhino poaching. There is just this huge, crazy demand in China and some other Asian countries for their horns. People crazily think that they have some magic properties, and I don't know what, but it's just insane. As per the latest population count from 2020, recently published research estimates that there are about 2,600 white rhinos remaining in the Kruger National Park. Black rhinos are estimated to number just 200. This represents a population decline of 75% for white rhinos in 10 years and 50% for black rhinos in about 10 years. It's just tragic. Giraffes, on the other hand, are in much better situation. They do suffer from the lack of habitat throughout the continent, but at least poachers do not attack them. And here are some fun facts. Did you know that their tongue is over 50 centimeters long? It's like 2.5 feet, and they eat about 45 kilograms, which is like 100 pounds of leaves and twigs in a day. And because of that, they don't drink much. They get most of the water or moisture from those leaves. And female giraffes give birth standing up. The result: newborns are welcomed to the world with a 1.5 meter drop to the ground. Ouch! But these infants are quick to get on their feet. Within 30 minutes they are standing, and only hours later they are able to run with their mothers. And in the wild, these beautiful creatures live around 25 years. In captivity, they live up to 40 years. So I think this will be it for today. Thank you very much for your time. Take care and see you next time. Goodbye.